Hey guys, it's Melody Yang here. I know that I haven't been posting, but I've decided that I should probably do something. So I'm here talking about politics, mostly in Southeast Asia. Um, so yeah, okay, hold on. We should probably just introduce ourselves first. So I'm Melody. I'm Hmong. I have family members from Laos. A lot of Hmong people are from different places in Southeast Asia, but yeah, my family's from Laos. So Becca, you can go ahead.
Hi, I'm Becca, and I'm a Filipino. I'll be representing the Philippines.
Okay. So before we start, I just want to say that we are really young. We're still learning, but we're here to talk about Southeast Asia, or just Asia in general. Um, and we will be talking somewhat at a surface level. And I will be talking the most. This is something that I would be doing independently, but I have Becca here to be talking about the Philippines, and for more support. And another thing is that if we ever stutter or mess up, this is just like a live recording. We're just not going live, we're not live streaming. So yeah, probably gonna be no editing. So yeah. Also, another thing is that Southeast Asians, they do have different experiences. But yeah, just gonna go on to the first topic. Okay, so in America, a lot of people don't really know why there's diversity here. I know when schools mention diversity, they're like, oh my gosh, that is so cool. Which, yeah, it is cool. But we don't know exactly why we're here because, you're in America, you're either indigenous to this land, or you were forcefully brought here, or you immigrated here because your country probably got affected by imperialism, genocide, or any of that stuff, or you're just a colonizer, mostly for white people. Sorry if I offend you. Also, not sorry if I offend you though. um, so yeah, but for us too, our parents are here, or no, we are here in America because our parents immigrated here due to colonialism and war, all that other stuff. So yeah. Okay, so we're going to be talking about the Philippines first. So Becca, you can go ahead and I guess just give an overall summary about the colonialism or the colonization of Philippines and how it affects modern day Filipino Americans.
Okay, so I don't know the exact dates, to be honest, but around the 1500s, that's when Philippines was first colonized by Spain, and they were there for a really long time, which affected many of the cultures that went on in the Philippines. It's a very diverse country with over 7,000 islands, and um, the Spain being there really impacted how we live as Filipinos nowadays. Um, Also, Spain was not the only colonizer in the Philippines. It was also the USA, America. And they promised the Filipinos that they will give them and make them independent and an independent country. But instead, they just took it from Spain and colonized us. Fun fact, today is actually Philippine Independence Day. So I'm glad I'm talking about this. And many Spaniards, I think that's what it's called. I think that's what they're called. They came to the Philippines and brought many of their traditions and showed it to us, but they also forced the Filipinos to how do I say this? Follow their traditions. They brought the idea of the Catholic Church into the Philippines, and it really, I guess, impacted how Filipinos are now, I guess, because before a lot of Filipinos believed in like um, the different gods and all that, and that also changed. Another common theme when you go to the Philippines is, I guess you can say, I don't know the exact term for it, but it's like um, whitewashing, not really whitewashing, but more of when you go to the Philippines, a lot of the people there are obsessed with whitening skin products, all that stuff, because they want to be like um, the white people, I guess you could say. Um, Sorry, I just
Yeah.
um, yeah, they're really obsessed with the idea of that, and it's really sad because colorism is a huge problem in the Philippines, especially. There's a lot of things, but yeah, that's what I can remember.
Hmm. Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to talk about the conversation that you had with your parents about, was it about like culture rager? Or is that, wait, hold on. I think that's something that we should talk about like
Yeah,
when we're
later
talking
on,
about
maybe.
the things after. Okay.
Water.
So I guess we're done with the Philippines, right? Okay. So now we're gonna move on to Laos. So first of all, I stutter a lot. So just a warning. Okay, so I haven't really, I guess, read much about the colonialism. It's kind of like around the same thing as what Becca said. Of when France colonized a lot of Southeast Asian countries. I don't really know much to say about that part. I mostly know about like the imperialism on else. I have a lot more to say on colonialism, but I feel like I should save that for when we talk about the effects of imperialism and colonialism. Um, so if we go back to the Vietnam War and the Secret War, I know a lot of people don't know about the Secret War. That's why it's really called Secret War. Um, Laos, it's the most bombed country in history recorded. Um, Hold on. There's like some numbers here. Let me see.
Yeah, there was also a war in the Philippines, like many wars, especially for um, Philippines against Spain. Oh yeah, also to add on, um, Philippines wasn't the original name of the Philippines. It was named after King Philip of Spain. I'm not sure what number, but yeah, there's a bunch of them. But yeah, it was named after King Philip of Spain, and yeah.
Okay, so there has been about 270 million bombs dropped on Laos. And there is a lot of undetonated bombs, meaning that they haven't exploded yet. And there's still a lot there, like, unexploded. So, it's pretty dangerous for the people living there. I know there's somewhat amount that they've taken out, but there's still a lot there. Um, okay, hold on. Okay. Also, there's 80 million bombs that are undetonated. And with my parents' experience with the wars, on my mom's side, I'm a second generation, but on my dad's side, I'm a first generation. So, with his experience, I don't know if I should say this. Um, okay, hold. I don't know if I should say this. I'm just gonna say that my obviously I have a lot of family members who. Hold on, I gotta charge my laptop.
Oh my gosh. I was on
So
my
yeah,
phone me a lot.
I have a lot of family members that were a part of the war, probably who even fought in the war. My dad did not, but okay, I don't know if I should say this. I'm just gonna say that my dad almost died in the war. That's all I'm really gonna say. So yeah, and I know that some people are gonna be like, oh well, like the war, and all of these bombs, they were meant to defeat communism and all this stuff. Um, geopolitics is really complicated. It's more complicated when I don't know when these people are really feeding onto imperialism and all this stuff. Sorry if my explanation is really bad because I know it is. But really dropping all of these bombs, and I know that they're still being dropped today, but there's really no justification for um, the killings of these people. And about the secret war and the Vietnam War, I will probably put some links in the description that can help you learn more about the Vietnam War, if you are even willing to do that. So yeah, and I feel like I should talk more about the colonialism when we get to that part, to that topic. So yeah, I think that's about it. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just gonna say that like there's a lot of U.S. imperialism in these countries. So yeah, I think that's all I gotta say. Okay, so now we're going to be talking about the effects of imperialism, colonialism, and the American dream. I know that a lot of people that I know talk about the American dream and how there's a lot of opportunities in America. But I'm probably gonna go more into detail with that probably. Um, but I hope I don't really offend anyone. But this isn't really meant to offend anyone. But this is also like,
Educational.
yeah, yeah, I guess you could say that. So when it comes to colonialism, there's a lot of culture erasure, especially when you immigrate to America. Becca, do you want to go first about that?
Okay, sure. A lot of the cultural erasures because of other countries that have colonized the Philippines. Like for example, what I said earlier, the name of the Philippines is not actually the name of the country. I I actually don't know what it is, but it is in the Philippines. Um, Along with the language in the Philippines, um, many of the words, as if you watch like those language video comparisons, it's very um it's very similar to Spanish. And yeah, that's because of um the Spanish. Yeah. What else do you want me to talk about more?
I don't know. Do you want to talk about like your conversation with your parents on it?
What about exactly? Because I've had a lot.
I don't know. Basically, just anything to be honest.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Especially for the American dream stuff. Um, a lot of my family members in the Philippines are always discussing about, oh, let's move to America, all of that. They think it's going to be easy here because, as advertised to um, Americans, not Americans, I mean, um, how the Americans advertise America to the Philippines is like some sort of dream escape land where you can be anything you want, you know? Um, it really isn't that way. And it's it's I don't even know how to word it. It's just like that's all I can say. What else do you want me to talk about? I can't really think right now.
It's okay. I can just talk, and if you have anything to say, you can add on after I finish.
Sure. Oh, my
Okay.
dog is here.
So, about colonialism, within my family personally, I interviewed my parents earlier this morning. So first of all, there is a lot of culture erasure, especially when these kids today they don't really know how to speak their language, or they don't even know where they're from, especially um, if you're African American. When we're talking about slavery, but for me, when it comes to I'm not trying to really hurt anybody, especially immigrants. You know, if you're white, I don't really care. um, but you know, I've always wondered why my dad's side, they practice shamanism. It's, I guess you could say it's somewhat of, I don't know how to word it, but it's more of like an original custom with, within Hmong people. I've always wondered why my dad's side has always practiced that, into all of these rituals instead of my mom's side, because my mom's side, they're like very Americanized. And they're Christians, Catholics, and the reason is because when, okay, I'm sorry, um, how do I
It's a
word
lot
this?
on this topic, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Hmm.
It's really hard to think, especially if it's just, oh, especially when it's just like a live recording.
Hmm.
But in Laos, I'm pretty sure there was like, French people who were trying to get these. I mean, there was somewhat probably amount of Christianity there, but it definitely increased because of um, you know these priests from, I'm pretty sure, France. I guess they got these people into, what's the word, like the Catholic Church, whatever,
Hmm.
Christianity.
Baptized,
Yeah.
like baptized into the Catholic Church, yeah.
So I've always wondered why they didn't do that. But yeah, I also have family members in France because during all this stuff, they had to like choose what country they wanted to go to. But there's very few of them in France, but most of us are currently in America. So yeah, I don't know. I just feel like when these people, I mean, for me personally, with these Hmong people, I don't know. It just makes me, I don't know. I don't know if I should say feel bad. Um, but when they don't know about the original customs that we had, and they're actually just following the religion that they were taught by these colonizers, I don't know if I should really say feel bad, but I don't know. I just feel like it just kind of, I don't know, hurts to think about,
Yeah.
especially when these kids don't know about it either, and there's a lot of um, erasure in that. A lot of us don't even know how to speak our language either. So we're speaking like a, I don't know how to say, like like not a colonized language, but a language that I don't know how you would word it. But yeah,
Yeah.
English is the language that the colonizers gave to a lot of us, especially indigenous people.
Hmm. There was
Okay.
also, especially for the idea, I know in the Philippines there was, Philippines is the country that exports the most nurses because especially during like World War II they were having I think a shortage for nurses and they turned to the Philippines to have everyone I guess sort of become a nurse and then go into the war and just fix up everyone who's fighting in it. And it also impacts a lot of um I guess you could say Filipinos that are young today because a lot of their parents are always like, "Oh, you should become a nurse." But I know that's sort of, I guess you can say, an Asian thing where they say, "Oh, become a nurse, become a doctor," like that. But especially in the Philippines, it's just nurse, like not like, oh, don't become
Yeah.
an engineer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I really don't know how to word it, but yeah.
Okay. So I there's this okay, so we have another friend. Her name is Melanie. She's half Laotian, and I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. And she's also
I
half
don't know.
Hmong. So her mom is Laotian, and her dad is Hmong. Um, she talked to her parents about their experiences because they're both immigrants. Um, so you know Okay, so apparently, you know, her dad lived in Laos up till he was 8, and then he immigrated. Um, he doesn't remember much of the process because he was young, but it was a very confusing process. Um, I'm sorry. This one, okay, I'm sorry. I just want to say, this might be disturbing to some people. So you know, I'm just gonna say that. I don't know if I should keep saying her name, but her mom lived in Laos up till she was 18. Um, She said that it was a lot more difficult immigrating to America because she knew no English and she didn't have proper education. Um, and it was scary when she was, I don't know if I should really be saying this. It was scary for, you know, her mom to be giving birth in a new country. Mm, and okay, I don't think I should really be saying this stuff. I feel like it's gonna be really traumatizing.
If you have consent from her, then I think you should.
Yeah, I don't know. Melanie just sent it, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think I mean, when we're okay, hold on. Yeah. Okay. So about the effects of imperialism and the American dream and about the opportunities. I know that a lot of immigrants talk about this, not just from Southeast Asia, but from like literally just all over the world. I feel like they really say that there's these opportunities in America because America, it's not really that country to really actually be victimized and to attack. No, and to be attacked. Um, you know, in America, there's a lot of extracting resources and labor from these other countries and these people over there, and you know, just basically just for our own benefit. So you know, we don't really face that much imperialism because you know we are the imperialist here. So you know that's why we have more opportunities. We really just don't get attacked. We, you know, these other countries that they're like, oh my god, like yeah, this country doesn't have that much opportunity. But you know, really the reason why is because that country has probably faced a lot of imperialism and a lot of extracting resources and labor, which has put the system at fault and also the government at fault. Um, so yeah, that's why I mean it really is a privilege living in America because you know you have a less chance of you know being bombed and being killed. Not really, to be honest, about being killed, but you know about being bombed. So yeah. Um, and when it comes to you know social justice movements, um, by the way, we're moving on to okay, I guess you could say like you know these immigrant parents' reaction to social justice movements and anti-blackness. Um, I feel like we should talk about this because I know that there's a lot of anti-blackness within non-black people, no matter what. If you are a person of color or if you're white, I mean, if you're white, you're literally just automatically racist. And I know I'll probably like get attacked for that. But yeah, you still benefit from the system, by the way. So um, when it comes to social justice movements, I know that a lot of kids really struggle to tell parents about how important it is. Um, and I just feel like not not just about like social justice movements, but when we are talking about like other countries, like for example, what's going on in Palestine or Colombia, I feel like it's really hard for these parents to admit some things, you know, mostly from um, you know, maybe their experience or their trauma. And they might just say like, "Oh, it's just how life is," or you know, they're too scared to be involved in a situation like that again because of trauma. I just feel like it's really one of the reasons why, because you know, my dad he's actually experienced war, and he tends to, I guess, not, I don't know, not really focusing on these. Um, I don't know. I guess like social justice movements. And my mom, she was born in America, and she's more of a Democrat. Obviously, us here we aren't a Democrat or a Republican. if you're wondering. um, so yeah. Um, I don't really know what else to say. Becca, do you want to say anything about that?
About what again? I went to
Um,
go let my dog out. Yeah.
like, wait, what were we talking about? Oh, anti-blackness and, racism.
Okay. Yeah, especially in the Philippines. When I said about the, whitening skin products, there's a bunch of people who will frown on you if your skin is darker than everyone else around you, especially because there are a few indigenous groups in the Philippines, and um, naturally, we are supposed to have pretty dark skin as Filipinos. And, we can't really change that. Not my skin right now is, I guess you could say, the average skin type for Filipinos, but before all of this colonization and stuff, our skin was actually pretty dark. And um, you know, you will get frowned upon if your skin is darker than everyone else in the Philippines, and people will kind of force onto you these um how do I say this? Like the whitening soaps and all that. That's a pretty common topic around us, I guess. And us as in like Filipinos, I mean, not every single Filipino is pushed to I guess use these products, but when you like are from the Philippines, I mean live there, every single product is just a whitening skin product, no matter if it's like lotion, body wash, face wash, all of that. It's really disappointing to see that, and we should like I guess embrace our skin for what it is. And um that's pretty much all I have to say, especially for the social movements and all that. I had to explain to my parents why Black Lives Matter because they didn't really get it first. They had the mindset of, oh, all lives matter and all that. But I explained it to them and they didn't really get it at first. But when all of the Asian hate stuff started rising and there were protests for that, they began to realize why these protests were, I guess, important. And I think they support it now. I'm pretty sure they do, at least.
Yeah. I don't know. A lot of, I guess you could say, like a lot of people of color, they tend to feed on, I guess you could say, feed on, white power. It's really powerful, especially when, I mean, as like for individuals, white people, they tend to like use like guilt tripping, gaslighting these people, and then it tends to, I guess, get into these people's brains, and they don't realize it. They're like really in the pit where white supremacists want them to be in. And I know it might sound stupid for
Okay,
to
adding
talk
on to the
about, but
topic, I know Korea isn't like a Southeast Asian country, but there's also a lot of, I guess you could say, white power there too, especially nowadays. Okay, this is really embarrassing to, I guess, admit, but I'm kind of a K-pop stan. Especially in the media, a lot of the K-pop stans are whitewashed. One of my favorite groups, there's this one member, and she's from Taiwan, so her skin is naturally dark, and a lot of I guess criticizers, I don't want to say haters because that sounds weird, criticizers on the internet are like, why is her skin so dark, especially they're if they're from Korea, because they have a lot of whitening skin products and stuff like that, and it's just a huge problem overall. Yeah, that's all I have to say.
okay. I'm not really sure if I really have anything else to say
Yeah.
about that part. I don't know if there really is more that we have to say. We might like as time progresses, we might do like a part 2 of this.
Yeah.
I don't know. So yeah. So should we just move on to the next topic?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Um, so the next topic is on white people pushing endangered narrative, especially against just like a lot of people of color in general. But with Asians, I know that some people know about the Asian fishing, but I wouldn't really want to say Asian fishing because I'm not really sure what's really the best term for it currently. But they really do, especially mostly white people. I wouldn't really say these other people of color because they tend to have like natural slanted eyes, but it's not just about eyeliner or the way that they make their eye shape, but it's also about the way that they perpetuate, I guess, and approach these styles. Like they tend to oddly over sexualize these Japanese school uniforms.
Yeah, they also kind of view it as an aesthetic.
Yeah.
For example, I think a few weeks ago, I went to go to the Asian supermarket to go get food with my parents, and we go there pretty much all the time, as regularly as we go to like Vaughn's or your local Walmart or something. But we usually go to the Asian stores because that's where we find, the food that we usually eat daily and the ingredients and all that stuff. But when I walked in there, I was kind of browsing around the snack aisle because I do that. I guess I love snacks just in general. Not an important detail, but I'll add that in. Anyways, I was walking and I think it was around a group of five white girls that were kind of like in the middle of the snack aisle while I walked in, and they were just kind of there, and I didn't know what they were doing at first, so I kind of went near, and they were apparently taking photos of. They were okay. So they had like these whole outfits on, and they were just kind of taking photos with the snacks in the aisle, like, as an aesthetic, I guess you can say. And I got really uncomfortable. And for context, the radio that was playing, it was playing 90s music. I feel they need to add this in because it is very cringy. And please don't do this, okay? It's horrible. So of course, as these white girls are, I'm not trying to, I guess, assume, but it really caused me to assume in the moment. I just walked past and I went to my parents, and then so the radio started playing Killing Me Softly with his song, aka like the Strumming My Pain Through His Fingers, the one that is mostly associated with this manga called Killing Stalking. And these girls started giggling so loud, and they're like, OMG, Sangwoo Senpai, or something like that. I couldn't tell if they were being sarcastic, but by the looks of it, they were serious. And I just wanted to run out of that store immediately. It was a horrible experience. Never again. That's all I have to say. But it's just weird because, why are Asians viewed as an aesthetic, especially,
Yeah, mostly like with East Asians, we're not like East Asian,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know, there's a lot of like, I don't know, like, is the word like sexualization or like over sexualization?
Yeah.
Over sexualization. But if okay, I'm sorry. This is probably going to be triggering to some people. So there's a lot of fetishization.
Fetishization. I don't know how to
Why
pronounce
is that
it.
so hard to say? Okay.
I know.
Okay, yeah. I don't know. Like, if you really want to do more research on this, you can search up comfort woman.
Yeah.
So yeah. And trigger warning, rape. I'm gonna be mentioning rape and all that stuff. Um, there has been people, especially like white men, going to Asia to use these Asian women as like
Yeah.
sex slaves.
Mm.
Um, and not just that, but for example, during the Vietnam War, this isn't just around like like racism too, but also misogyny. Um, these Vietnamese women and also young girls would be raped during the Vietnam War, especially from the white men. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like the white male and Asian woman trope. It's just
Yeah. It's
mm,
not good.
like I really don't like. It's not always the case, but it tends to be the case. No, I'm not trying to shame on you or anything.
Or are you
Yeah.
saying you? I'm
I
just
don't know. I
asking.
meant like the viewer
Yeah,
or
I know what you mean. Yeah.
yeah.
Uh, I'm gonna let my dog out real quick.
Okay. Okay. I really don't know what else to say, but I'm just gonna let Becca go let out her dog. So yeah. Okay. So I don't really know if we really need to add anything else to the past stuff that we talked about, but we are now going to be talking about the East Asian Privilege Discourse. We're not going to be spending too much time on this because it's kind of like it's really messy, to be honest.
It's a messy
So
situation.
yeah, it's really messy. So about the East Asian Privilege Discourse, there's a lot of East Asians and non-East Asians, mostly Southeast and South Asians, especially on TikTok. Yes, I mentioned TikTok. Um, there are specific like I guess like situations where these East Asian activists or whatever, um, using these Southeast Asian stereotypes against Southeast Asians. Obviously, I won't really go into it. It's not something that's too important. I mean, it is important, but it's like not something that too
We're too
important to talk about.
educated on right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the East Asian privilege discourse, I feel like I don't really know if it's complicated or not. Honestly, um, a lot of non-East Asians have been saying that like they feel I guess invalidated and upset about how East Asians are normally centered in like I don't know in conversations about Asians, which it is true. There's a lot of West, Central, South, Southeast Asians being left out. Um, you know, I'm not, I don't feel like really any of us are trying to invalidate East Asians because, you can't really do that. They're not white people, but they do somewhat have like privilege when it comes to like, colorism. And, for me, I'm Southeast Asian, but I'm pretty fair skinned to be honest. I don't know. I don't know. I stay inside all day too. um, but yeah, and
Okay. Yeah.
there is
I
a
just
lot of xenophobia too against Chinese people, and the xenophobia it doesn't just affect Chinese people, even though it is about Chinese people when we're talking about the word xenophobia. But a lot of I don't know, I guess people mistake other Asians for Chinese people, especially with the virus. Obviously, it doesn't make the situation any better. Um, but yeah, there is a lot of xenophobia though. I feel like that's what some non-East Asians are also pushing when they're talking about xenophobia. Like, when we're criticizing East Asians, it's not, I wouldn't really say it's being xenophobic, but sometimes they can be xenophobic when they get, a little bit too angry.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have much to say about that because
Me
I,
neither.
yeah, I don't really like focus on that too much. There's like, systematic stuff. Oh, should we talk about the the racism within, like, about the Asian hate crimes? Because I know that a lot of people are like, well, it's mostly black people who are killing Asians, or like it's mostly people of color who are killing Asians. It's not. It's mostly predominantly white males attacking Asian women, or just Asian people who are um, affected by patriarchy. Um,
It's also really disappointing how they say, "Oh, I just had a bad day" or something like that. Like, no, you didn't.
yeah, like they tend to, like, when it comes to like crimes, they tend to like center a lot of people of color, especially black people. Um, it's really anti-black when they generalize these people of color, especially black people. Um, but when it comes to white people, I really don't care. I mean, like, you can cry about it, to be honest. um, because you really still do benefit from the system. Um, probably even from your country, like your home country. Even though America could
Yeah.
be your home country, but you don't really own this land. Neither do we here. Um,
Yeah. I
yeah,
don't want to like offend white people like right now, but it's just I've met a lot of white people that don't want to admit their power, you know? And it's just really disappointing because they're like, oh, I'm oppressed too because I'm queer or I'm uh I don't know, but I have a say in this because I am queer, but it's your whiteness comes first,
yeah,
um it always comes first because that's the first thing that people see when they look at you. And to people who are saying, oh, I don't see color or anything like that, it's kind of dumb, you know what I mean? um I'm not gonna really get into it, but yeah.
yeah. Especially also with white people who are affected by patriarchy. They're like, oh well, like I'm affected by patriarchy, and I don't know, they just really distance themselves from their whiteness. Because especially with I don't know, like, how do I say this? Like, what's the word? Like,
What?
just hold on. That I think there's a certain term. I don't know. I guess we can say like American Dream. I guess. Um, you know, like when you have the white male and the white female. You know, the white male would tend to try and protect the white female, or just literally any white person who is affected by patriarchy, because they are still white. These I don't know, white people who um I don't know, I guess like the white men, they do tend to protect the white people who are affected by patriarchy. Um so yeah, I don't know. I just feel like they really need to stop distancing themselves from their whiteness, but a lot of people of color who are non-black should also stop distancing themselves from actually being anti-black. Obviously, we don't speak for black people, but we're just here to, I guess, criticize non-black POC. So yeah,
Yeah, I also kind of want to touch on the topic. I know it's not really that important, but about, how do I say this? Um, it's not really that important, but I personally would still like to talk about it. How just like white power impacts POC in general, in, I guess, everyday life. Like for example, POC, for my personal experience, I used to, I guess, sort of get bullied for the food that I ate, and like how it would be stinky or something. Um, Stuff like that. That's, you know, and there's also an advantage when it comes to, I guess, people in relationships, for example. Like there could be, um how do I say this? Like some sort of white guy or something. And obviously it's just, he's just gonna choose the white person, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um I don't really know how to word it, but yeah.
I don't know. Basically, just your best American girl by Mitski.
I know
But
that's
like,
what I was
yeah,
that's what I was thinking about when the guitar
yeah,
pick fell somewhere.
yeah. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I guess I like ever since I was a kid, I've always been like embarrassed to tell people like that I'm Hmong because like
Yeah.
when someone would ask me, I would be like, oh yeah, I'm Hmong, and then right after I tell them, I would like search it up on Google and look at the images and try and think about how they would think when they search it up, because I don't know, they might just think that it's weird. And also when I was a kid, I didn't know this, but I unconsciously made myself some basic white girl and had like a basic white girl name, and I've always wanted the name Avery or Bree.
No, because me too. Yeah, when I was younger, actually, mainly when I first moved here, because when um I I moved to Canada at a very young age, and where I lived, it was very predominantly Filipino, so I kind of, I guess, fit in, you say. But when I first, well, I've always kind of wanted to be quote unquote pretty. It's a weird concept, but my brain from when I was younger is like obviously still the same, but my mindset, that's what I meant, mindset. It's very similar to how it was when I was younger, because especially in the movies, you see all these like pretty white girls, and I'd always kind of want to be like them. My fake name was Abigail, and on me maker, on my 3DS, I would like make myself blonde and all that, and I always wanted to sort of, I guess, be pretty, I guess you could say, but I personally don't even know um what the definition of it is. um I I don't even know how to explain it. I just had an idea that, oh, to be pretty you have to have blonde hair, blue eyes, stuff like that. So yeah,
Yeah.
disappointing. Yeah.
Um. Shoot, I'm ready for that. What I was gonna say. Um. What did I forget already? Hold
That's
on.
me.
Wait. I'm really trying to think. Um. Oh yeah. Another thing is that when I was younger, I would be eating like like food from my own culture, and I would even be alone eating it, and I would be like, I wonder what would happen if someone were to walk in and what they would think of me eating this. And they I don't know, to be honest, I'm not really like ashamed of that much anymore. But I feel like no matter what, there like no matter how much you appreciate your culture and where you come from, I feel like there will always be envy for white people. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know that some people are probably gonna be like, well, with the Asian fetishization, whatever, that is good. You have somewhat of a benefit. It's really not. It's really just dehumanization and not seeing these Asian people like human, because you just see them more of a tool and a six. Um, I don't know how you say it. Like, I don't know, tool. I
Stuff
don't know, just a
the
tool in general. Like you're
Yeah.
not human. It's just dehumanization. So yeah, I don't know. It just kind of scares, I guess, some people, because you really don't know if this person really likes you for you or if they just like you for a reason. But someday you probably will find out. Um, but yeah, I don't know. It's just I don't know. I feel like a lot of us, we will always have envy for these white people, no matter how good they look. But I don't know. Maybe just be like, okay, I'm sorry if I sound like really mean, but sometimes you might look at it like some white person and be like, are they really pretty or are they just white? I always try to ask myself that, to be honest. But yeah.
Yeah, it's also kind of a problem, whiteness, I guess you can say, in healthcare too. because from what I've seen on my side of TikTok, a lot of, I guess you can say, um, disabled people and people on the spectrum, um, if they're white, specifically most likely male white, they're most likely to get a diagnosis than people who are POC. And it's, you know, it's just really sad because everyone should be able to get a diagnosis for whatever they think they have properly. And yeah, it's just, that's all I have to say for now.
Yeah. Also, I just remembered, when we were talking about people distancing themselves from their whiteness, I think that we're, I guess, just in many communities. I don't know if I should say community. I think we should say community. I don't know. But when it comes to, like, I guess feminism, and I'm not talking about liberal feminism. Actually, no, I am. Um, and also within, when we are talking about, the LGBTQ community, when we are talking about, disabled people or just all that stuff, um, there is lack of intersectionality. Like, there it's like really low. I don't know. If you really want to look into intersectionality when it comes to this kind of stuff, I feel like you should read um, critical race theory, because they do talk about intersectionality when it comes to um,
Yeah.
stuff. For example, hold on. For example, I have Woman Race in Class by Angela Davis. I don't know. I don't know. That's all I gotta say.
You literally just flipped through the book. Wow.
Yeah. I really don't know if we have any other input, because we just like say things at the top of our heads. We don't have any scripts or anything.
Yeah, I don't have anything. See, my phone is dead right now.
Yeah. I think I will probably link my link tree, my bio. Should I really? I don't know.
Sure, if
I
you
feel like,
want.
yeah. I don't know. So I feel like, I don't know. Okay. Anyway, so I know that there's probably former classmates and family members watching this. I don't know, just don't bring this up when we see each other in real life, because I won't be in the mood to be talking about that.
Yeah,
Most
thankfully I'm
likely.
not going to the same as school as all of my former classmates, I guess you can say. So that's good. I'm sorry if that offended you, but
Yeah, I don't know.
whatever. I don't care.
No, I've just like tried to, no, I've just been trying to distance myself from a lot of people, because, I don't really trust people much when it comes to like morality, I guess,
Yeah.
and,
Thankfully I sort of
beliefs and
look
stuff.
different from how I was in elementary school, so I don't think anyone would recognize me. Thankfully, so.
Okay, so I don't really know if you have anything else to say. I
I
don't know,
don't
I'm
think
just
so
kind of
either.
looking around to see if I have anything else to say. Hold on. I don't know, to be honest. Hold on. I'm sorry for if we are wasting your time.
Girl, I don't think we are.
I don't know. So I don't know. I feel like most of my viewers here either say like, "Oh, I don't care about politics," or um, they might just be, I don't know how to say it. Like, should I just say racist? Yeah, I don't
I
know.
have no idea.
I don't know. I don't really know much of who my viewers are, but yeah, I know a lot of people that I see in real life watch my videos. So I don't know. I don't really know.
Who watches your videos?
I don't know, like family members, probably
Oh,
former classmates,
probably, hopefully
probably,
not, to be honest. Like, it's
probably
glad.
like just people from my school and that other school, and I don't know. I really don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Is that it?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh,
Is there
also,
anything else? Yeah.
for clarification, I know some people might think that what we're saying, is, I don't know, like very liberal. We are not liberals. That's just all I'm gonna say. Nor are we Democrats or Republicans or conservatives. That's all we're really gonna say. So yeah, I think that's it, right?
For sure, yeah.
Okay. So hopefully we don't get attacked for anything. Um, hopefully there's no gaslighting. I know that's very common. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I guess that's it. So have a great life or day. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye. Oh wait, okay, bye. Okay.